Hey there, welcome to the AMP Golf Podcast. My name's Mike.
I'm Jeff. Aaron's with us, but he's got, laryngitis, I guess is the best way to describe it.
Yeah, he had too much fun over the weekend, so his throat and voice is a little hoarse, and he'll just be in a control booth today taking care of all that stuff. So welcome to a brand new week and almost the start of a new PGA season.
Wait, didn't the last season just end? What is it with this crazy wraparound PGA golf season stuff?
It did just end, but next week the Fortinet Championship kicks things off for the season. So we don't have a field yet. So we'll do picks next week for the one and done.
So you know all the tech guys, when you say the name of the tournament, they all go like this.
Oh, what is it?
It's Fortinet.
Fortinet.
You put a little bit of the I in there. It's a technology company, mostly known for its firewalls.
So anyway, they're hosting a tournament next week, which kicks off the season. We won't know. Players have till the Friday before the week of the tournament to officially commit. So we'll have a list of who's going to be there, who's not going to be there. I would imagine there's not going to be a lot of the top names there. Most of them are preparing for the President's Cup, which we'll get into as well in a little bit.
That's right.
And that's kind of what's going on. Last week, did you watch any of the live event, Jeff?
I did watch. I watched more of the ladies than I did the live event. I will confess. We watched more of the Dana Open.
Well, the Dana Open was right in our backyard, right? So who won it?
Gabby Lopez. She's a
really
Mexican, from Mexico, and
that's fantastic.
She is something, and she's got a beautiful smile, and she really came out on Sunday and just absolutely ran the course. She shot 8 under on Sunday.
Ooh, that's a good close.
Yeah, it's a 63. Lexi, who was in the hunt, started the day 2 strokes back, just couldn't really get anything going. Actually ended up shooting 72, which is one over for that course for the ladies. So, but Gabby played great golf, held everybody off, birdied the last hole emphatically. As a matter of fact, I don't know if you saw the highlight, but she beat everybody to the scream in the when the putt went in. You know, a lot of tournaments are like, mashed potatoes, yeah, whatever, and you never hear the golfer. You hear Gabby very distinctly when the putt rolls in. So
that's awesome. She hasn't won in a little while, if I remember correctly. So this is a good win for her.
Yep, 3rd career win. It's
nice.
A good tournament to win. They head down to Cincinnati this weekend to play at the Kroger. So there'll be another event here in Ohio, just down the road.
Nice. And when you're looking at the Lpga and the world rankings, Jun Young Ko is number 1 with Nelly Korda right behind her, Minjee Lee in 3rd, Lydia Ko in 4th, Brooke Henderson in 5th, Thitikul in 6th, and Lexi Thompson 7th. Yeah. So it's a pretty diverse field when you look at the countries that the players are representing, as opposed to it used to be dominated by South Koreans, right? So there's a lot of South Korean, nothing taken away from them. They're fantastic, and they own number 1, number 8, number 10, number 12, and number 14 right now. So they're still a force to be reckoned with. But I believe the rest of the world is starting to come up to par and really pace what these players have done in the past and start to excel and exceed them as well. So
they have ladies program here in the States, took a bit of a hit for a while. They weren't quite as competitive. I mean, we've always been competitive, but just all you heard was she's from South Korea. They were, at one point I remember there were 2 South Korean ladies on the tour with the same name, so we had to put a 2 after one of them. I mean, there were just a lot of South Korean ladies out there playing great golf, so hats off to them. Great to see the field rise to the challenge, as opposed to lowering, somehow artificially lowering the bar so that everybody has a good outcome. That's not what it's about.
Yeah, the top money getter this year so far is Minjee Lee at 3.7 million, followed by In-Ji Chun for 2.6 million. Brooke Henderson's right there, 2.2. Lydia Ko at 1.8, Cupco at 1.8, and Choi at 1.8. So there's some decent winnings there. If you go all the way down to the top 100 and look at the 100th ranked player, her money winnings are $120,000. So
Okay, so now question: what's the 100th ranked PGA player make?
oh, I don't know. That's a great one. We'll have to
Pretty,
look that up. Maybe Eric can look
yeah.
that up while he's in the background and shoot us a text and let us know what it is.
It's not going to show us anything we don't already know, right? That there's a money
Yeah.
disparity between the two tours,
Yeah.
and that there's a whole discussion about why that is, and it's revenue driven and everything. We get that,
Mhm.
but it is nice to see the money totals for the ladies, the LPGA, come up. 95 million in prize purses this year, which is about 30 million greater than last year. So I mean, it's heading the right direction for them.
Yeah, it is. I'm really happy to see it. Top looks like top 41 we're all over $500,000. So I mean, there's money to be made there. You got to be good and you have to be consistent. So
Yep.
I understand why a partnership with Live sounds interesting to them. If that
Right.
extra money's out there and they can maintain the integrity of the LPGA. And okay, so maybe I'm wrong here, but based off of where the tournaments we've seen the women play, they're more of a global brand than the PGA Tour is.
Yeah, I think that they do a better job of really doing a lot of outreach to find talent wherever the talent is, right? So the South Korean Storm is a great example of that, right? But you have golfers from all over the world coming out here and winning tournaments. Canadians, uh, Gabby is from Mexico. Interestingly
Yeah,
enough, we don't.
Switzerland, Norway.
Yeah, Switzerland, Norway. We see the Nordic countries.
Yeah.
There's I know the one lady's from Ireland. I can't think of her name. She did well in the
Oh,
Olympics.
Leona Maguire.
McGuire is,
Yeah.
yep.
She
So,
played really well at the Solheim Cup too.
yeah, she did. Oh yeah, she did very well.
Yep.
But it's interesting you don't hear as much. Well, there's a French golfer that won. Yeah, so they're all over.
Yeah, all over. I like that they bounce around a little bit too, and this is one of the complaints I now have with the PGA Tour is they should be a global brand, right? They are global because there's a PGA Australia, there's a PGA Canada, but they're not really global. They don't go and bounce around the globe like the women do and showcase the best players in the world all over the world as consistently as the women might do. And consistently, they might not be as consistent as they think they are, the ladies, but I think they're more consistent than the men's tour. So I still think Monahan and Norman need to be taken out of the equation, and they have to figure out a way to make the PGA Tour global, incorporate the players back into the fold, right? And make that series some kind of a tour that goes to Ireland and England and Australia and Japan. And I know it's a hell of a lot of damn travel, but these people deserve to see the best of the best in their own country too. I think, as a fan, just speaking totally as a fan, I've never hit a shot and I will never hit a shot on tour. As a fan, if I lived in another country and I had to go and watch it on the American schedule, it would be annoying as shit and I'd be pissed off.
Right. And the interesting thing is that Ryder Cup aside, because I tell you what, wherever the Ryder Cup goes, the fan base is huge, and
it does
both sides of the pond, right? But that aside, you can tell when they're playing in America, and so part of me understands why it's structured the way it is. But I agree, get some more of these tournaments, promote it. Get in these larger areas where you can draw. Go play Vienna, Austria. Go play London. Well, they play some courses in England, obviously, in Scotland, where the game originated, but Paris. Play Shanghai, play Hong Kong.
I mean, Australia is huge.
Australia,
they're a huge golfing community. Canada, we do play an event in Canada, I believe. It was canceled last couple of years due to COVID, but there's an event there. But when I think about it, I look at the Ryder Cup and the President's Cup and go, you know what? It would be cool is every 2 years you get the top 4 players from the United States, top 4 from Canada, top 4 from England, top 4 from Ireland. And you have some kind of a Ryder Cup-esque event,
Right.
because that would be spectacular. And I can hear Aaron's brain right now going, that's not a bad idea. How do we make this work? So I just think that a true global Ryder Cup style event where, you get the 4 best from each country that's participating. I mean, yeah, it'd be big. You might have to go 2 weeks over or something, but damn, that would be fun.
Well, the new season in the PGA might allow for more events like that as well, right? We're not. I
Sure.
mean, I was making fun of the last wraparound season that we'll have in the PGA Tour, obviously starting here shortly. But that gives more time for some of the ventures that Rory and Tiger are doing, some of the changes that PGA
Right.
wants to make. So there should be a discussion about additional ideas to generate excitement around the sport. If your goal is to do that, which it should be always, then every idea should be on the table. There should
I
be
agree.
nothing
I
that
agree.
gets shot down out of hand until the merits or the demerits of it have been discussed.
Yeah. And as we've stated, I think last week and maybe even the week before, the PGA Tour, the players on that tour should be thankful that Live happened, and thankful that all these changes that have occurred are because of and due to the Live
Right.
Golf threat, as some people would say, right?
Right.
I don't think of it as a threat anymore. I think of it as a disruptor, and disruption is good. So this is something good that's happening.
Right. Market disruption is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, again, I'll go back to
Yep.
the cars versus horse-drawn carriages, right? I mean, the horse-drawn carriages were the market for a long time, and those nasty cars came along and tore the market up, right? So
Yep.
I'm not saying that Live is the future, but everything needs to be on the table, right? We need to be talking about every idea, every format, every team events, different ways. I still say mixed, do a mixed team event.
Yeah, mix. I mean, we've been
Team.
talking mixed since we started the podcast. Basically,
Right.
we would love to see the top LPGA players with the top tour players or top players in the world.
Yep.
Mix the event up and do a shamble, do something, to make it interesting, and the fans would watch it. Mic them all up.
Oh yeah.
I really love the match when it first started out because of you could hear the players.
Right.
I didn't watch the last one because I have no interest in watching 4 quarterbacks hack the ball around a course. And the Bryson DeChambeau, Brooks Koepka one was kind of a huge letdown. Do this instead. It'd be more fun, and do it over a couple days. Give all the money to charity. Fans would flock to it. I think everybody, wherever it's held, people are going to go see it. Do concerts like the Fortinet Championship. Did I say it right that time?
I'm gonna give you that one.
They have concerts going during this thing. It was voted the most fan friendly tournament on the PGA Tour.
Right. Another thing you could do. I mean, if we're doing events like this, open up a couple of caddy spots for dedicated PGA fans that are golfers and understand the game, right? And make it contingent upon them going and meeting the golfers, and making a case for them being the I mean, I'd do that in a heartbeat. Man, my name would be in the hat in a heartbeat. I'd explain exactly why I could be your caddy.
Yeah,
and
let's
even if I
make
don't
sure
get paid.
Let's make it a flat course, right?
Yeah,
let's
there's
not
that.
go crazy.
Yeah,
I've seen what these caddies do. They work their butts off.
My last day as a caddy, when the course was formerly Kettering, I had a double bag. Oh, that was punishing. Double bagging for 18 holes.
That's not fun. That's not fun. So yeah, I really think Monahan and Norman aren't the people to lead us into that future. I think there's too much animosity on both sides. And when we found out that the PGA hired a liaison to go between the players and Monahan, that told me, I mean, pretty much right there, that Monahan's not in touch with the players and what their needs are.
Well, I don't think you're getting rid of Greg Norman, right? He's too entrenched in LIV. He's the Saudis' pick. They get big money in him, right? So, I mean, Monahan, I've said it before, can do something else.
Yeah, I just think that Greg's beef is deep enough for him to make bad decisions potentially in the future.
Yep, could be.
He's made good decisions so far, signed a lot of players that we really didn't think would go. And we didn't understand the pull that the money that was being given to them meant to the players. I thought, as I believe a lot of people thought, and I don't want to speak for Aaron, but I think Aaron feels the same way, that the history in what you're playing for other than money on the PGA Tour would take precedence over any amount of money. And that's not true. And I understand that, but it's still one of those things that I don't like about LIV. What are you playing for? Where's your incentive?
And I'd be really curious. One of the things I'd really be curious about is talking to golf people who follow golf, right? What's the split? Is there some kind of identifiable line? Is it fans 40 and up are all like, they are almost wholeheartedly, with some exceptions like myself, saying, the traditions, I get what you're saying, but they're throwing some serious cash on the table. These guys got to make their own decisions. We're not in their shoes. I mean, that's kind of always been my position, right? But so the younger crowd more like, whatever, paycheck. We got things to do, and we don't want to wait for those things to come to fruition. We want to be able to accomplish them now.
Yeah, it's interesting what you're seeing on YouTube with this too. And first of all, I just want to say, Matt Walter, who runs Matt Walter Golf Academy down in Tennessee, has been on the show a couple times. Really great guy. He released probably a 7 or 8 minute YouTube video on LIV, and it was well done in my opinion. And he said something that resonated with me. The animosity has got to stop. I mean, the hate, the venomous diatribes that people are going on are ridiculous.
So I agree 100%, but I think, and I'm going to make an overarching statement that it goes above golf. I think we're seeing that in a lot of our interactions today.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
I think that needs to come out of all of that, not just people's thoughts on golf. Right. And
yeah, I'm with you.
Things that we follow passionately, we can see them much more. So when we look at golf and we look at Twitter and some of the things that fans say and some of the things that are said about these golfers, I mean, dude, these people, you've never walked 1 minute in that guy's shoes ever. So you absolutely have no right to be hating on somebody like that. His responsibility is not your fun. That golfer doesn't live so that you can have a good day. Nobody lives so you can have a good day. Right. So investing that much as a fan that your guy plays in the PGA, I don't know that the priorities are all straight.
Yeah. Did you see what Fred Couples said, his statement that he released about, sorry to all my friends and family when I missed an event. I was working, I was putting in the time and the effort to make a paycheck, and it wasn't just given to me. And I'm really sorry that you had to do that. But that's what it is. That's life on a tour, and screw you. He's come out with quite a few of those things. I'm slowly losing respect for that right now. Fred, if you'd have been there in the heyday and you were in your, early to mid 40s, and somebody said, Fred, we want you to be part of this new tour. Here's $100 million guaranteed. Do you think he wouldn't have taken it? I mean,
it's a different generation of golfer, right? So it's hard to say, but being younger and feeling the pressure of that, it's distinctly possible that he would have signed and gone over. But again, you don't know,
Yeah,
so
you don't. I just want to see the players get together. What's this really what I want to see? I want to see the players get together and just say, look, we all want what's best for the game and best for us. There's got to be a combination. How do we make it work? Instead of, I've put a lot of thought into this. I like Rory as a player a lot. I know you're on the fence with him. He's been really standing up for the PGA Tour and being that champion. I think that Rory, Tiger, JT, all the leaders need to just say, hey, players, let's have another players meeting, but let's have it with all the top players, no matter what tour you're on.
Well, so I wonder, Tiger's been pretty outspoken as well about, his position on LIV, and Rory has as well. So now, do they dig their feet in, right? Do they say, no, we're not interested in talking to the LIV golfers? I think you're right. I think there has to be a path for them to come back in, right?
Yeah.
Because we don't know if LIV is going to succeed. If the Saudis want to, and whoever's backing it, it's not just Saudi money; it's all over that area. If they want to keep throwing money into it and they make it last 20 years and it's a loss leader for them and they want to do it, okay. I mean, it's your money, whatever you want to do, right?
Right.
But I feel like there's got to be a path back into the PGA, because I think there's going to be some buyer's remorse, and there's not room at the table for everybody for having $100 million contract. There's just not that many spots at that table. So I think you got to give them a way to get back in the door. And Monahan's dug his
I
heels
agree.
in. So.
Yep. Yeah, I agree. And I loved watching Cam Smith play golf.
Mhm.
I really did. He was a fan favorite of mine.
He
Loved it.
He looked to me, it just cracks me up. It's like, well, come right out of his trailer, grabbed his bag, hopped on the course. And I'm sorry for the trailer reference. I don't mean that in a disparaging way, but I mean, he looks like you'd just be some guy that you knew on a Saturday. He was mowing his yard right before tee time, and then hopped on the course and started going to town, and blew you all away doing it.
Yeah.
Obviously.
You're even seeing, if you pay attention to any of the YouTube influencers here in the States anyway, you're seeing that people are going to the live venues and playing golf. Mr. Short Game was there, Zach Radford and Matt Walter were there. They shot videos from there, and then you see the other players going to PGA Tour events. Micah Morris went to a PGA Tour event with George Bryan. Wesley Bryan is his brother. He's a PGA Tour player. Was a PGA Tour player. I believe he did lose his card. I think he's trying to get it back on the Korn Ferry Tour finals right now, and he stands a good chance of doing that from what I understand. Favorite of mine and Aaron's anyway. We watch their stuff. It's pretty good content. It's a lot of fun. But you're seeing that they're trying to get these influencers over to that and start talking about it, right? Sure. Matt Walter said that the event was awesome. He said it was fun. It was a great event. The people there were awesome. The staff was great. It was good golf. And he's right. It was good golf. If you look at the scores, they're some of the best scores we've seen when it comes to rounds under par, things like that. Phil still didn't end up under par. Now, Phil.
Struggle is real.
It is. And I want to see Phil succeed. I want him to do well. I want him to be a top player on the tour. Right? Because I like Phil. Yeah, he opened his mouth, said some stuff. Maybe shouldn't have said it. Maybe should have held his tongue a little bit, but he's still Phil Mickelson, right? And I just don't know that it'll ever be the same. Anyway, but DJ, there was a three-way tie this weekend. DJ, Anirban Lahiri, and Joaquin Niemann all finished at 15 under. And then DJ on the first playoff hole I literally slammed an eagle putt. That ball was lucky to hit the back of the cup, pop up, and go down because it was rolling that hard, and he won. So he got $4 million. His team won the team event, so he got another $750,000 on top of that. Lahiri, Neiman, and each got 1.8 million. Lee Westwood and Cam Smith tied for fourth. Cam almost won it. He was playing really, really well. They each got $1 million. Taylor Gooch got 800,000. And the last guy, this is the best part. Siwon Kim shot 87 in the first round, 63 in the second round, and a 76 on the third round. Finishing last and getting $120,000.
That's some schizophrenic golf right there.
Yeah, it sounds like us, right? So
it does.
Without the 63, of course.
Well, no, that's like my front nine and then my back nine.
So it was a pretty good tournament. And honestly, if I didn't have my PTO set for the year, because I had to, a lot of stuff coming at the end of the year, I'd go to Chicago to see it. I think that as the new year starts, we need to figure out when one's around us, we need to set some time aside and we need to go see it for ourselves. Why not? We have nothing to
Well,
lose there.
the interesting thing is that there's a shorter event, and I talked about this on one of our earlier podcasts. They do put out the call for volunteers. The
Yep.
LPGA does too, actually. Typically PGA events don't struggle with volunteers, but I heard a call for the Dana. I heard a call for the Kroger, and then I know LIV is looking for volunteers for their events too. So it's, that's always an option as well. If you've got some time, um, that gets you in close, and you might have an opportunity once you're off hours to, have some good content.
Yeah, I think that we need to definitely look at the schedules for the upcoming seasons for everything, and set some time aside to potentially at least get the weekends and maybe get a few
Hmm.
Wednesday, Thursdays in there as well. So we can get a practice round in would be great, because you get more access generally to the players. I'm
Yep.
not sure what the access is like on a live event, but I'm anxious to find out what it's like and see it in person. So there's a lot of good stuff. And if anybody who has any affiliation with any tour is listening to this, come together, for crying out loud, will you? We as the fans want to see the best players play against each other.
Right.
That's what I want to see. I'm not saying that I don't want to see, the 100 to 200 ranked PGA Tour players play. They're still far better than I'll ever be, and they're in the top 0.5% of the world or whatever it is. And I still want to watch them. I do want to see the superstars play each other. I want to see them fight it out. I want to see them battling down the stretch for a meaningful event that has implications for whatever could happen in the future too. That's
Right.
what I like about the PGA Tour. You're playing, you're stacking up points, trying to get into these events, trying to get into majors. Live could easily work their way into that somehow if we could all just come together. I don't know that the Masters is going to say, no, you're all banned. I don't see that happening,
Yeah,
you
they
know?
they get to make the rules, right? There, it's their
Yeah.
own event. And there's some notable names that, took a green jacket and then, are on the LIV tour now. So,
Yeah.
um,
7 of the last 13 winners, I believe, are on the LIV tour right now.
right. So it'd be hard for that committee to say, no, can't come play.
Yeah. And for, the players in the PGA Tour to say you only did it for the money and then benefit from what happened there,
Right.
with all the additional money that's being thrown at them. Come on down. What do you got to say now?
Right.
What do you got to
Exactly.
say now?
I mean, yeah. So it's one thing to sit on the sidelines and throw barbs and everything like that, but
Yeah.
absolutely everybody's benefited from that tour coming into existence. So
Yeah. So lots of good stuff. The next event's in Chicago in a couple weeks for
yeah,
Live. So 2 weeks, I believe. Is that the same time as the President's Cup? It might be. I'll have to look into that.
yeah, I'll have to look that up.
September 15th is the pro-am for Live, and then 16th, 17th, and 18th, I think. So interesting.
2 weeks.
Yeah, 2 weeks.
Well, a
So
week from this weekend, I guess. Really. So time flies when you're having fun, doesn't it?
yeah, that's what happens. It flies when you have fun. So the President's Cup is coming up, and here's the thing: President's Cup doesn't have the same vibe as the Ryder Cup, right?
Does not.
Because it's an international team made up of anybody except for somebody from Europe,
Right.
because Europe has the Ryder Cup, and the
Okay.
Ryder Cup's been around since 1927.
Right. So is that the why? Like, why doesn't the President's Cup carry the excitement and the buzz? Right. Like you talk about Ryder Cup. Like I knew of clubs, there would be a club here in America and a club in some foreign country, and they would have a Ryder event. And they would
Right.
literally have teams from each of those clubs, and they would play every other year. And the one time it would be Germany, is the example I can think of, and then the other time it would be here in Ohio. And I mean
Interesting.
they had a, yeah, just like then they did the same format as the Ryder Cup with the 2-man and 4-man teams and singles match, and it was match play, not stroke, and I mean it was the whole shooting match. It was a big deal, and so the Ryder Cup generates that. Why doesn't the President's Cup have that mystique, if you will?
I think it's because it's only been around since 94. There hasn't been the back and forth, right? The international teams 1 win, 11 losses, 1 tie. So in the 12 events. It did switch from even years to odd years because of 9/11, and I think it's now back to the even year schedule. And they changed the format quite a bit. From first day is 4 balls, and for this, and then this, and then that. And they've gone back and forth over that several times. It's more like the Ryder Cup now, with the final day being 12 singles matches, which is, what everybody really wants to see. They want to see that close score going into the last day, because it's more dramatic, and it really gets the fans more involved too.
And that makes sense from a prestige perspective. Okay, so
right.
Leading to this question, don't mean to harp on the LIV, but let's say LIV, right? So maybe it's 20, 30 years almost before LIV gets, whatever equivalent traction is needed. How long is that? What if they hang on, and then what if they're that big one? I'm just saying, if they want to throw money away that long, that's fine. But
yeah,
if it takes time, because the President's Cups, there's going to be big names in it. It's
absolutely,
but it's just not like you talk about Ryder Cup. We're talking about Ryder Cup for months in advance of that event.
Yeah.
Who's going to be there, and where's the venue, and so you see in highlights from previous years, and the President's Cup, like, it's President's Cup. It's going to be okay, great.
Yeah, top 6 from the PGA Tour, top 6 from the DP World Tour, top 6 from the Live Tour go against each other. Woo, let's go.
Yeah, right.
Let's bring it. I think that'd be fun. Again,
Yep.
Seeing the best play against the best is, as a golf fan, really what I'm going to tune into on TV.
Right.
I love going to live events, and I will continue to go to live events. And I'd rather do that than watch it on TV, because then you can make it your own, which is really fun too. So
yeah. We were this close to going up and watch Lexi play on Sunday. If she'd have been the leader, we'd have gone. Then I realized how early they teed off. My goodness.
What time did they tee off?
Well, they had Lexi would have been in the last group, and they wrapped up by 1:30. So they would have had to tee off by like 9 or 8:30. Yeah, they went off early.
Damn, that's really early. So we don't have the American picks yet. What we know for sure is Scheffler, Cantlay, Burns, Schauffele, JT, and Finau are the automatic bids. He's gonna do the picks, I believe, tomorrow afternoon. He'll release them. Davis Love, and
okay.
Yeah, the European team is captained by Trevor Immelman, who won the 2008 Masters, and this is something I just found out today. He's been tabbed to replace Nick Faldo.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, really big deal there. So that's huge. His wild cards today, 5 of them are rookies, which is going to be interesting. Taylor Pendrith, Christian Bezuidenhout, Cam Davis, Kate Lee, and Sebastian Munoz are all slated to make their debuts. Siwoo Kim's going to be in it as well. It joins Matsuyama, Sanjay M, Tom Kim, Corey Connors from Canada, Adam Scott, and Mito Pereira. So again, there's some really good players that we're not going to see at this event, like Joaquin Neiman and Cam Smith, who I really wanted to see. They're just fun to watch,
Now, Cam Young, is he anywhere in the hunt on the American side?
I believe he'll be definitely one of the picks. There's
well at the Masters, so
Cam had a great season. He's gonna be the rookie of the year. So the PGA did announce their nominees for the 2021-22 Jack Nicklaus Award, which is the player of the year, and the Arnold Palmer Award, which is a rookie of the year. Scotty Scheffler, Cam Smith, Rory McIlroy are all candidates for player of the year. Scotty's got to get it based off of his year. I just really think he's going to. Right. Tom Kim, Sahith Theegala, and Cam Young will be voted for the rookie of the year, and Cam Young just had the best year out of all of them.
Yeah, he did.
He didn't win a tournament, right? But Tom Kim won the last tournament of the year. Sahith Theegala came close twice, I believe, and had an absolutely rocking year as well. And I think even Rory said that to Scotty's parents when he gave him that hug at the Tour Championship, that Scotty's going to win Player of the Year, and he deserves it. He should win it. So That'll be interesting to see what happens. And it'll be interesting to see people's reactions to it as well. So,
Right.
because Cam had a really good year,
Oh
and
yeah.
There were segments to that past year that were dominated by a specific player, and any of them could actually win it. So I think Scotty's going to win it, but who knows? I mean, he's got the money title. No one's even close to him in there.
Yeah. Yeah, I would have to pick Scott. I mean, if I was prognosticating on that one, Scotty is your player of the year.
Yeah, this week the DP World Tour's flagship event, which is the BMW Pga Championship, is really front and center. There's 18 live players in the field. I believe one or two have bowed out because they don't want to deal with the animosity and they don't want to deal with it. And they have a case. They were told don't show up for the pro-am.
Nice. That's nice. But and the frustrating thing about it is pro-am's not for the tour. It's just not.
Yeah. It's your chance to get with some fans and get with the sponsors who back you up, and that's what it is.
Yeah. Did we talk about the nastiness having to cut back a notch or two earlier? I feel like we did.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, with the PGA Tour having a large stake in the DP World Tour, it really going to have an impact on how they react.
I get it, but pro-ams aren't for the tour. Pro-ams just simply aren't for the tour. I mean, I know the tour has to put them on. I know this blah, blah, blah. There's tour resources involved, but that pro-am doesn't benefit the tour. So.
No, not even a little bit, right? So, and I know players don't necessarily like it. I believe some do.
Not all of them, yeah.
But a lot of them want that time back, and I understand that, right? Because if you're traveling, and that's the thing with the international, making this a truly international tour, the amount of travel is excessive, and I mean, it might have to be like an every other week thing, so those players can have that rest, that adjustment period, maybe even, and then you're talking about more time away from your family, things like that.
Yeah, I played in enough Ohio Women's Opens where they have the pro-am day, and I played enough in those pro-ams. I've seen the LPGA pros are no different than the men, right? Some enjoy the pro-am, and I've had some pros that have been really excited to be there, and they're like your biggest fan when you're on their team, and you're playing in there, and they're fun to play with. They really are fun to play with, and I've had pros who were completely disengaged and didn't want to talk about it and didn't want to, they were more interested in, reads on the course and taking notes and swinging their shot and not even giving a crap about what the team was doing. And that's a worse experience. The ones that invest are a ton of fun to play with.
Yeah, I've only played in it twice, and I've been very fortunate to have great pros both times that actually gave a shit about you as a person and engaged with you and asked you advice if you knew the course. That's a great thing, and gave advice. And one of the best things I ever got was the last pro I was playing with. I apologize, I can't remember her name. Told me, "Holy cow, you need get rid of those clubs. You need to get different clubs. You're hitting the ball way too high." Because I was just using game improvement irons. There were nothing at the time, and she's like, "You hit the ball well enough where you need to get better clubs that help you work the ball."
Were we playing together the one where I was giving the yardages to the pro all day?
Yeah.
That was fun. That was a good time.
It was a good time, and it's a great event, and I think they do a wonderful job at it. I'd love to see it get back here too, because it hasn't been around the last couple of years since COVID, right?
No,
and it didn't come back this year.
No, it did not come back this year. Yep.
So I would love to see it come back, because I think it's a fantastic event, and it gives us a chance to act like big shots.
So remember, it's now Premier Bank that used to be sponsored by First Federal. First Federal's part of Premier now, a regional bank.
That's right.
So if you're work at Premier Bank, if you're listening to this podcast, we'd love to see the Ohio Women's Open come back. And if you guys want to keep sponsoring it, that'd be even better.
So I got one more thing on Live. Now, Gary Player, when this first started, he was at the Masters, I believe, and he had a Saudi Golf League or Live on his shirt collar. Do you remember that at all?
I don't, but that's interesting.
Yeah, he had something with Saudi Arabia. He has now come out twice and really slammed these players for going there. He said it's a tour for people who don't have confidence in their future.
Gary. Mm.
He said, I wouldn't take $1 billion for my 9 majors on both tours. The only man to win the Grand Slam on both tours. I worked hard. I had desire. I traveled the world. It was an education. I met wonderful people. How can you ever be a champion playing a tour with 54 holes and no cut? What sort of tour is that? 54 holes, no cut, a team event nobody understands. That's not true. People do understand the team event. Oh, so yeah, he wore a Golf Saudi shirt at the Masters was what it was. So he's taking money from Saudi Arabia and slamming this tour as well. I think the PGA and everybody should have teams. I love the team aspect of it. And I think it could be tweaked to be really fun because then we as fans have something else. We can join a team, right? We can buy gear. They could sell stuff to us. And there are already teams out there. TaylorMade, Mizuno. I mean, every manufacturer, Scotty Cameron, think about shoes, FootJoy, Skechers. There could already be teams there.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's definitely ways to market, right? Market this stuff. I mean, the American consumer and consumers all over the world, we love our sports. We love that stuff. I mean, how many hockey jerseys, how many sweaters do you have? Exactly. That's my point right there.
Five to wear and 2 on a wall, 4 on walls.
Right. So I mean, like we're more diehard watch it and follow it than get the memorabilia, but there are people out there. I mean, I know Ohio State rooms, I know Cleveland Indian rooms. I mean, it is all that gear. PGA can do that if they want to, bring that excitement, bring that, fire into it somehow with extra events, team events, some kind of synergy, make it more competitive. I mean, if you've got a $25 million purse on the line and your individual performance matters on an individual cup, but then your team performance matters, if your team came in second, third, sixth, and eighth, and you're way up in the standings, that's a big bonus on the end of the line at the end of the year. So.
Yeah, I can see all the gear now, and I can see all the smack talk on the golf course. Oh, your team TaylorMade. Oh, you suck.
Well, I mean, you could do and like, okay, so you take your favorite shaft, but you brand it or grips. I mean, I'll throw through a $2.50 grip on my putter or a $9.50 grip probably at that point, But I mean,
team win grips,
Yeah.
There's so much I think they could do with it. And this is the part that I had a hard time getting my head wrapped around when I first heard about it with Live. But now that I've heard other people talk about it and seen how it's working. Now, look, I think some of the names are dumb, but that's just, they come across that way to me. You could do whatever you want and name them anything, and people would join up and come dressed in those colors and stuff like that.
And Mike, there's a reason you think some of those names are dumb. It's because they're dumb. Yeah, because they're just dumb.
I mean, I thought they'd do a better job of coming up with names that were a little bit more relevant, but
I really think pretty much anybody could have done a better job. I don't know I'm sorry to the person who picked the teams, but you're not good at that. That's not what you do. It's obviously apparent that that's the case.
Yeah, I hope it gets addressed and they look at that and change them up a little bit, because it'd be more fun with better. It would be more fun with better names. I'm not going to wear anything with the aces on it or whatever the other teams are. So
no, I mean, even you could have gone movie throwback and gone smoking aces and gone, and had done something even, and that's a little bit better, but man, it
really sounds like as Live has come together, it was really fast moving, right? Okay, now we got to come up with team names. And somebody went, oh shit, we didn't do that yet. what are we going to do for names?
Well, they did
Wow.
it. They did it 15 minutes before that meeting, is what it looks like to me.
Yeah, it does. Um, so that's my take on Live right now, and I'm going to stick with this one. You know what? Let's see the players come together. You know, Rory, you're a better person than this. Stop making it uncomfortable for people to make a decision they felt they needed to make for themselves and their families. You
Right.
know, it's a decision. You have no right,
Yeah.
unless that decision is illegal, immoral in some way, right? You know, or not even immoral, illegal in any way, to rag on somebody for their decision that they made. But you're right, Jeff. It is the country that we live in now, and the divide grows greater all everywhere you
And
look.
it
So,
just doesn't have to be that way. We can go back to the times where having a discussion meant listening to everybody's side of the story, and not screaming at each other, and that'd be cool for a while if we could do that in
yeah.
golf and in many other things. So
Yeah, the only screaming I want to do on a golf course is when I hit a bad shot, and even then I don't scream that much. So, but I hit plenty of bad shots over the last couple of days because for some reason, you know, the driver is there and
uh,
everything else is kind of gone right now. So I hate
uh,
these cycles where I'm implementing a change and it works for one section of the game and not for the other stuff. So it's just so frustrating. And I know you know that with all the
yeah,
injuries and the changes that you had to go through. So
I'm done
right now I'm right
investing.
there with you.
Yeah, I'm done investing in this year. But what I mean by that is I'm done investing too many mental cycles in this game. And you know,
Yeah.
I'm having problems with my left shoulder now, and I'm not making excuses, but I could be back in the freaking doctor's office at the end of the year, at least having them take a look at what's going on there, because I know I'm going to need to correct that shoulder as well eventually. But I think what I need to do is, you know, once the season is over, get in shape, get some weight off. I've got way too much weight in the midsection of my body to make a proper golf swing that's comfortable. And, you know, it gets in the way. It does. You know, I mean, and I haven't adjusted to it. I have a swing that I learned when I was 150 pounds, and it doesn't work with all this. You know, I'm not 150 pounds anymore. I don't know if you noticed that or not. I mean, I know I look. I
Oh
know,
no,
right?
you look
It,
fantastic.
it's a shock, but so the you know
Yeah.
we talked about it last week. Goals definitely get in shape this year. Address some swing issues over the winter that I can work with as far as stretching and flexibility goes, but then really come out and make a decision. You know, do you want to play okay golf and not worry about it? Do you want to hit the ball the way you know you want to hit it? Do you need a different swing? You know, what's going to be the formula? So
Yeah. I think we need to. You and I are competitive. Aaron's not as competitive as us, but he can be competitive. Look at, you know, setting a date. We're going to start on this date. We're going to work on getting in shape. We're going to follow some kind of a plan
mhm,
and document. I'm willing to document my progress at least, so
mhm,
people could see it. Because look, I'm not 30 anymore. You know, I'm 55 and I'm not in the greatest of shape. My
right.
shoulder feels good. My ailments are those of somebody that is played sports all their life and been injured a lot. So
Right. Well, the
how do
thing
we
about it
overcome
is,
it?
right, we're mid 50s, right? Or a little higher than that. Aaron, obviously not. You lucky young man, you. But you know, there might be other people that are interested in, you know, what worked, what didn't work, you know,
Yeah,
what
absolutely.
happened to your game? Did it help? Did it hinder? Did you have to relearn things? Did swinging clubs change? You know, the whole 9 yards. So there may be some interest in that. We may talk about it for one show and get all kinds of negative feedback and not ever talk about it again, but just keep doing it. I mean, who knows, right? So,
Who knows? We'll see what happens. But I think that's something that we have to look forward to. Also, when we're not able to play on the course anymore and we're able to hit inside, you know, part of me wants to go through all these people that are giving instruction online
mm,
and follow their instructions, see what happens, and document that as well. Hey, did this work for me, or did it
right,
work for you? Did it work for Aaron, or was it just
right.
something that we couldn't put together and couldn't do, and give honest feedback about that as well. So that's
Yeah,
something I like to do.
Mary was a huge, not so much anymore, but she was a huge student in the game for the longest time, and she had a notebook, a big 3 ring. It wasn't a notebook; it was a big 3 ring binder, and it would be 1, 2 page tops, tips, notes, articles, things that she'd read that she felt were critical to her game. and that was always at hand. Now she had a stack of other reference materials, unlike I've ever seen,
Mhm.
that she went through once, meant to get to, whatever the case may be. But she always had a 3-ring binder that was very focused on by her things she wanted to work on: drills, tips, tricks, mental game, diet, exercise, the whole 9 yards. And she's gotten away from it, which is surprising because she's actually more passionate about the game now. She's not as big of a student of the game anymore. So be interested to see
Yeah.
if I make a transition into trying to do something like that, will she pick that back up?
Well, there's some training aids I definitely want to purchase and try out. There's that one that locks you in position and you turn it on your arms and stuff. I don't remember what it's called. Matt Walter did one today at the last golf event. They were on the course, him and Zach were on the course, and he did a chipping tutorial. And there's a ball that fits between your arms, like here and here, to lock your frame. And if you're doing chipping and that ball drops, you're doing something wrong. You have to keep the contact there. So
I'd never hit a chip shot.
I know it'd be fun. It would be fun to watch.
I'd be like, oh, damn it. Oh, damn it.
It would be awesome to watch. So I know I want an impact bag. That's something that I worked with my golf coach, KB Blanchard. He had me doing drills with an impact bag so that I would know where at impact I'm supposed to be. I like that a lot, so I might get one of those as well. But there's all kinds of stuff out there. We could tin cup it and do every available training aid at once. Right, the thing from the hat and this thing and that thing. What you think?
Yeah, I definitely need to keep. My focus is going to be the arms and keeping them in the right position because I fly that right arm. So, but I got to get in shape because I don't have the constitution to do what I want to do, and that's got to change. So.
Well, I want to do the 72 holes in a day next year at some point. So if we're not in shape, it's not possible. And if we find the right walkable course, doing 72 holes is while it could be tough, it could be rewarding.
Please God, let it be a par 3. Please God, let it be a par 3. Mary and I used to do 36 every day when we'd go on our golf vacations. I mean, 36 rain or whatever, heck or high water. So it's doable. We'd come back with our fingers taped up.
Oh yeah. Do it on a day where it's the one of the longest days of the year. So you got to do it at that summer solstice period, right?
Yeah.
So where you can get out right at sunrise and maybe that's something interesting. Maybe play St. Mike's, Eagle Rock, Auglaize, Moose Landing.
Right. Yeah. And light bag it.
Yeah. You don't have to do anything.
You can do 5, 7 clubs.
Oh yeah.
Honestly, I mean, I think 14 clubs in the bag sometimes helps me make bad decisions, not good ones.
Always helps us make bad decisions. Oh, I got this shot in the bag. No, you don't.
I'm just going to hit this wood out of this fluffy rough. It'll be great.
Yeah. So there's a lot for us to do and a lot to think about next year. I think we got to plan next year a little bit and what we're going to do. I know that everybody may not have the amount of PTO that I have. So pick and choose things carefully.
Excuse me, I'm sorry.
Get to a few more events than we have in the past. And I was also told somebody that I know that's working with me very closely can get us all on Inverness anytime we want.
I mean, if we gotta.
So that's something I want to talk to that person a little bit more about.
Stone Oak. We have to play Stone Oak. I love Stone Oak. I'm in love with that course. I play better on it. I have a better attitude the minute I walk on the course. I just enjoy the course. It's a nice course.
Huh. Until I hit you in the kneecap with a club.
I'll still be happy. That was a good swing, Mike.
Thank you. Thank you so much. May I have another?
Thank you, sir. May I have another?
Yeah. So anyway, next week we'll talk more about the President's Cup coming up, the Fortinet Championship and Fortinet Championship.
Okay, I felt like that was on purpose.
No, not at all.
We're hoping Aaron is back on the mic.
Championship. Yeah, Aaron will be back on next week.
Yeah, heal that voice up.
Yeah, Aaron's got a particular story that I've been waiting to hear him tell for 2 weeks now. So I'm looking forward to that next week.
All
And
right.
we'll have the start of the one and done. So
Oh,
it's
it's
just
2 weeks.
weekly.
That's
Yeah,
right.
so weekly competition. And we'll go from there. If anybody wants to join us, I know it's a long season. Please reach out to us. You can hit us up on any of the social media apps. We're on pretty much everything. You can join our Facebook group, where we have a lot of people on that as well. And we'll see what we can do. But that's coming up next week. So stay tuned for that. President's Cup is right around the corner. That'll be some fun to watch if it's not too nice out. Otherwise, we'll be golfing probably because
we'll be golfing.
We don't know how many weekends we have left.
Running out.
We'll take every single one we get before I have to set up the garage again and lose my parking spot for the winter. But that's definitely worth it. So that's all I got for this week, Jeff. We got anything else to close us out?
I don't. Again, congratulations to Gabby Lopez on her win at the Dana. Lexi, I'm still rooting for you. Come on, let's see a win. I know you're 7th in the world, but let's see another win this year.
Yeah, and to all the YouTubers that do or don't watch us or listen to us, Matt Walter, just amazing person. Love talking with him. We'll try to get him on the show in the next couple of weeks as well. Zach Radford, Brian Brothers, the good guys. It's just everybody. We enjoy watching you, and we enjoy your content. You're all part of the reason why we're doing this. So appreciate you all. Absolutely. And to everybody that's listening out there, thanks for listening. We appreciate you as well. We hope you have a good week.
Have a great week.